I think I recovered from what I saw. Okay. Um 12 videos that will haunt you. Let's go.
I think that you are going to remember these videos for a long time, and I hope watching them doesn't cause you to experience any haunting consequences. Number 12. It's early in the morning on a Saturday when a stranger picks up this random Corona, California family to be his next target. Here he bashes open the front door using nothing but a kid's scooter left out from the day before. He hits the glass with such force that it only takes one blow to get in. From there, he proceeds to chase the mother and her two daughters into their bedroom, which they lock and barricade themselves into. These holes are where he tried to bash through a closet with a hammer that he found in a toolbox. If the walls had been even a little thinner, he would have gotten through. Police later took the man into custody and charged him accordingly, based on the raw aggression displayed in the CCTV video and the holes left behind. I don't think there would have been much left of the family for police to identify if the intruder had gotten to them.
Yeah.
Number 11. These friends are talking in the kitchen when someone else pulls up a chair to join them. The only problem is, no one's there.
There you are.
When one of them finally notices that the chair is a full 2 or 3 feet away from the table, he's so startled that he doesn't even close the refrigerator. He just wants to get away fast, which is a realistic reaction for sure.
That chair move.
Of course, no one else in the group believes his bizarre story at first, but when they see it for themselves, their scared reaction are as legit as can be. I'll add that the fear and surprise on his face is readily apparent. All of them are trying to come up with a rational explanation, and the best answer they have is that the man in a white shirt is somehow causing it to happen. It's true that the chair only seems to move when he is either approaching it or standing nearby. Just when they are beginning to calm down, a final event seems to confirm their suspicions.
Something's wrong with you, bro. Something's wrong with you.
Let me know what you think is happening here, and if you think this is a prank or the early stages of a spiritual possession. Number 10. This cat is playfully smacking around a Brillo pad when it stops to look straight up, ears back completely frozen, almost as if someone invisible is standing over it. Next, an orb floats upwards and makes it jump straight into the air. After a while, the house pet regains interest in its toy, only to stop and look around again, slightly bewildered. It looks at its owner briefly and then follows the orb with its head in a swooping motion. Possibly the very same orb as before. There's no doubt that the cat sees something out of the ordinary as it tracks the orb perfectly. Both times it completely loses interest in the toy and seems somewhat alarmed over an unseen presence. I guess there could be some other explanation, but if I was alone and saw all of this going on, I would definitely question if my house was haunted. Number 9. A YouTube channel called Exploring with Danny is checking out a chapel cemetery that is so haunted.
Any human can fake a video like that, but you can't get a cat to fake that.
They only feel comfortable approaching by day. They have all been here before, but this time they are disappointed to find that commercial locks are in place and that everything looks to be boarded up. Still, they are determined to get inside, and they keep moving along the perimeter, searching for another way in. After a while, the camera person feels watched and makes the mistake of looking up.
Nah, how come you're not getting through them boards, eh? I'm there, he's there, I'm there!
Watching over them is a frowning, pale figure with solid black eyes. I guess this could be one of their friends, but given the new measures taken to keep trespassers out, I don't see how this is possible. You would think that they would run at such a sight, but this encounter only makes them more determined to bust a new way inside, which they eventually do. They soon reach the interior steps and feel watched again. The figure is staring back at them from above once more, perhaps twice as displeased to learn they've gained entrance. This time, they all duck into a room and watch it silently pass. The thing retreats down a long hallway, but when Danny follows, it's the last glimpse any of them get of it before scattering. Number 8. A chef and his apprentice rummage around the kitchen to do some last-minute prep work before opening. One of them undoes the plastic ties from all of the bread and then takes a few steps away. Moments later, he looks over only to see a single remaining piece of bread raise itself in the air and land in the corner with a smack. He tries to explain what happened to a co-worker. As he examines them, undoes the plastic ties.
Look at that thing in the bottom right corner, the very bottom right corner, above the word "you" and "YouTube." Watch that. This thing moves. What is this thing?
Last minute prep work before opening. One of them undoes the plastic ties from all of the bread and then takes a few steps away. Moments later.
You know what it is? It was someone's. It was the flap of someone's hat. That damn pareidolia effect. You know, it makes you. It tricks the mind into thinking that you're seeing something that looks like something else when in reality it's just something common and basic.
Opening. One of them undoes the plastic ties from all of the bread and then takes a few steps away. Moments later, he looks over only to see a single remaining piece of bread raise itself in the air and land in the corner with a smack. He tries to explain what happened to a co-worker as he examines the bread for anything wrong, finding nothing. I was waiting for it to jump back out after he throws it away, but I guess it's done moving for now. Everybody probably thought he was going crazy, and maybe he did too, until they checked out this haunting video for themselves and posted it online. Number 7. With her camera recording, a girl kneels before a darkened doorway and challenges a spirit to touch her. A light passes over the room and her hair is brushed over her shoulder as if someone is passing through. I find this video hard to believe because that definitely looks like a flashlight coming from the other room, based on the way it hits the wall beside her in a concentrated circular beam. With that said, it still doesn't explain how her hair moved with no one nearby. Let me know if this effect is possible to do in Photoshop, or whether or not you think this is real. If it is real, then I have no idea why she would want to summon something so powerful in her own home.
So here's what I'm thinking. It's not Photoshop, but I'm thinking it might be possible that she was able to move her head with enough force, kind of like this, to get her hair to move to the side.
Number 6. A group of ghost hunters called PXTV go deep in the Wombwell Woods, a haunted forest in the UK where many people sadly go to take their lives. They split up to cover maximum ground, and one of them, Steve, finds a spot he deems suitable to begin an EVP session, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. He sets up his EVP box and asks any spirits nearby to make a light go on. When it does, he asks for 2 lights, but gets this verbal warning instead.
Can you make 2 lights light up? Ovulus has just said run.
But something descends upon Steve before he gets a chance to do as told. I didn't exactly see anything, but Steve says that he was pushed out of the way by something nearby. And when he looks at his EVP box, the translator displays the word run written in all capitals. I'm not sure if there's any way to tamper with these devices and make them say pre-programmed messages or not, but assuming this video really is unaltered, then the evidence is all right there to see. Number 5. This computer animation short called Banjo Gyro has been haunting the internet for about 20 years now. There's something simultaneously comedic and unnerving about the way the characters move and talk, and the background music also sounds extremely dark.
Do not need you.
At one point in the nonsensical storyline, they confront some kind of monstrous humanoid. The way it turns around and moves its neck is really bizarre. So bizarre that many people have reported seeing its evil-looking face haunting them in their dreams for years afterwards. Number 4.
What the was that?
It's hard to say if this video is really paranormal or simply due to a baby's loose grip. Keisha Vasquez is singing to her child when, in her eyes, a hairbrush is ripped from her daughter's hands. Watch the moment it happens and tell me if you think she dropped the brush or if it was taken by an unseen force. Bebe, que linda, que bella. At first, I was inclined to write this off as a fumble, but notice how at approximately 10 seconds, an orb crawls along the right side of the screen seconds before the hairbrush leaves her hands, followed by more orbs immediately afterwards. Since these orbs could be an indication of the supernatural, I think either explanation holds weight, and I look forward to getting your thoughts. Number 3. Claire Julian has a guest over when they both notice her paper dragon wall ornament is swaying slightly. Zoom in and you'll see the very bottom swings back and forth, hardly noticeable unless you really were looking. There's no draft and the air conditioner is not on. They aren't sure what to make of it, so Claire half-jokingly challenges the ghosts to do better, which I'm not so sure was a good idea.
You have to do better than that. Thank you.
I was thinking that this movement could have been the minute hand of the clock hanging behind it, but Claire says that this clock doesn't work anymore, and now that I think about it, I didn't hear any ticking. Therefore, I think Claire probably has a poltergeist in her home, one that she should stop challenging. Number 2. The Vancouver Paranormal Society investigates a house whose owner has been complaining of strange activity during late hours. They gather in the living room and decide to address the spirit outright. You can hear 2 taps after they try and get its attention.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
They next explain the rules of communication and get no response.
Give me a knock for yes or 2 knocks for no.
That means it actually tapped twice to signify no when they said they were going to ask it a series of questions. Not only did it respond, but it somehow knew what it was going to be asked before they even said the question. As if that wasn't weird enough, as soon as they ask the spirit if it used to live here, they get a visual disturbance in front of the pillow that's in the woman's lap.
Did you used to live here?
Somehow the team misses all of these signs and declares the house to be uninhabited by spirits. After watching these instances, however, I beg to differ. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you cute? Every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. A YouTuber named WW2 History Hunter combs an old battlefield in search of artifacts when he suddenly feels watched. He looks into the distance and thinks he sees ghostly movements ahead. Apparently the leaves keep rustling in this one spot in particular, but when he goes to check, no one is there. I think I see what he is talking about, but I'm not 100% sure.
Something is following me. Just saw that. I've seen that 3 times now.
He checks this area no less than 3 separate times, but like I said, I'm having trouble making it out for sure. Still, having said that, I do hear a clear reply when he starts talking again. There's a short pause and then a voice right behind him says yup.
Very, very spooky.
The ground he is standing on has seen a lot of action, so maybe talking about the battle while picking stuff up was enough to summon a spirit. He could have been standing directly over their buried body for all we know. You will never forget these ghost videos, and neither will the unlucky people that were unfortunate enough to witness.
Alright. Moving on to 5 scary ghost videos that will leave you shook. Shook.
Top 5 scary ghost videos that will leave you shook. Lights out. YouTube user Chris Boylan says that his friend Bella and her college roommates lived in a California apartment with a somewhat dark past. The previous tenant had lost her life in the residence. One night, the girls experienced bizarre power fluctuations in the apartment. Lights in different rooms began to flicker on and off, seemingly at random and without reason.
Yeah, neither is our bathroom light. Turn on the bathroom light. Stop! I'm video recording it. Come on, Scratcher. This is so weird. But dude, this is so dude, this is weird.
Did you see it? Watch just before the bathroom light begins to randomly flicker.
That's creepy.
But dude,
It looks as if some bizarre shadowy thing flies into the open bathroom door just before the lights begin to flicker violently. So is this an odd coincidence in a group of college girls who are simply overacting? Or is it something more sinister?
It's creepy.
Let me know what you think. That'll teach you. It's the end of a long day at school somewhere in Mexico. A teacher is staying late to finish up a report. Even though the school has a dark history and is said to be haunted, the teacher says he simply doesn't believe in ghosts. But strange things are happening.
Yo doy clases, yo imparto la materia de literatura. Normalmente ya me toca a la última hora. Mis alumnos salen a las 2, solo que yo me quedé un poquito más de tiempo. Son 2:37, ¿sí? Ya casi se me acaba la batería. Estaba haciendo un reporte que necesito entregar, ¿sí? A la escuela. Pero okay. Lo que se me hace extraño es que se movió una banca. Ahorita se las muestro más de cerca. Pero es que yo estoy solo, ¿no? No hay nadie, estoy yo solo. A ver si ahí me veo un poquito en el pantalón, pero no hay nadie. ¿Sí? Estoy completamente solo. Entonces, se movió esta banca sola. Yo creo que fue el viento, porque no, la verdad no. Para mí.
Really? It's the wind. It's the wind. Why did it move? Why did it not move any other desk? And you know, even if it was the wind, what wind would be that powerful to even move a desk? And how could it even move that single desk and not any of the others?
Eso no existe, nada de eso de los fantasmas. Bueno, al menos yo no creo un rumor que supuestamente la escuela se fue hecha después de que un orfanato aquí se quemó. ¿Sí? Al parecer los valores no se han perdido entre los alumnos. Pero pues eso son puros mitos, ¿verdad? Esa banca estaba así y luego se movió. ¿Sale? Entonces, fue algo bastante extraño y se me hizo interesante. Yo creo que ¿saben qué? Mejor yo sí ya me voy. Sí, normalmente yo no creo en eso, pero güey, es que se acaba de mover esa banca también. ¿Qué pedo? No mames, no, ya me voy.
Just as the teacher is stating that he doesn't believe in ghosts, it seems like whatever spirit inhabits the classroom decides to make itself known. As the teacher makes a run for it.
Yeah, it's like, you don't believe in ghosts, huh? I'll show you. Oh, yeah, that'll teach you.
Seems like he might believe in ghosts after all.
That will teach
9886 Revisited. Now, a couple of months back, I featured a YouTube channel called Security 9886, a security guard who worked in a supposedly haunted cemetery.
I remember that. I saw that one.
After being featured, the channel grew to over...
Cemetery are being taken down. They're no longer. We're not going to have any more of those videos. I'm not ever going to post them again. This woman, this girl that called that made all this trouble down there, he just don't want any more phone calls like that, and that's all it really boils down to. But let's just have respect for this guy. Let's have respect for this girl. Let's let bygones be bygones. Let's let it be. So that's why the videos are taken down.
So, with some pressure from management, Security 9886 had to delete his entire channel. But there were still a few remaining videos that I wanted to cover, so I will be blurring all the names in these videos to respect the family's privacy.
What is going on? I'm basically just securing all this stuff right now. Just making sure there's nobody in here. Anybody in here? Hello? Yeah, but listen, you gotta get out of here. You're gonna have to come talk to me, okay? Where you at? I can't see you. You're correct, so you need to come out, okay? You guys hear this? This is broad daylight. I don't know where this kid is. Where are you?
Now, it's interesting to note that most of Security 9886 content was streamed live. In this clip, he's simply patrolling the cemetery grounds, but he keeps hearing mysterious footsteps.
Somebody has definitely been walking behind me. I'm not sure. I just saw some tourists from Ohio, told them that the place closes at 10. I'm about to head back over there, but I don't know.
Without noticing, he catches what appears to be a small boy stepping out of sight into the darkness.
So what is going on, you guys? There is a red truck out here. And the chapel lights just came on. Hello? Hey, look, if you're just out here with me, you're fixing to end up in jail, you understand? So where are you? Nope, I'm getting the out of here.
Yeah,
I'm done with
too.
it, man. Nope. Hell to the no. Somebody's out here with me. All right, this is some scary that I ain't doing this garbage no more.
Now, there are two things that are very interesting about this clip. First, as Security 9886 enters the chapel, a child's voice seems to say, "Cameras are not allowed in here."
Hello?
Now, this certainly makes it seem that whoever or whatever this is truly mocking him. But even stranger, as Security 9886 hurries away from the chapel, the echoey, sing-song voice of the child seems to follow him.
Nope, I'm getting the out of here. I'm done with this man. Nope.
It sounds almost as if the voice is no longer inside the chapel, but is now right beside him. By the way, I'd love to take credit for that observation, but it was actually made by Loie Lane in her breakdown of the Security 9886 videos.
Runs out, but you can clearly hear it's almost like the voice is right beside him, continuing to sing into the phone's microphone. You know, he's filming on his phone.
So, all credit to her. In the end, the question remains, are the Security 9886 videos real? Or just an elaborate hoax? As always, I leave that for you to decide. Just a note, Security 9886 does have an all-new channel, so if you want to check it out, it's Paranormal Security 9886. Behind Your Back. On the YouTube channel Alex's Paranormal TV, Alex is investigating the site of a former restaurant in the isolated English countryside. Local legend has it that the location was the site of such extreme paranormal activity.
I just want to pause it for a second. Go back to those cemetery videos. It's hard for me to say whether or not I believe they're real, because it's a cemetery. You're bound to get a ghost or two being seen by someone at a cemetery.
Activity that instead of the building being rented or sold to new owners, it was simply closed and abandoned.
But it could still be hoaxed.
On a previous investigation, the guys actually had a wine bottle thrown at them by someone or something in the building.
Whoa, what the f***, mate? What the f*** was that?
They go back to the location 1 year later, and things get even stranger.
If you want help, comment over and communicate with me.
You hear that?
What's up?
Don't know what that was.
Hello, is someone here with us?
Some dark shadowy figure seems to walk through a room right behind them. Neither Alex or his cameraman noticed the figure at the time. They only saw it when they watched the footage back later. Now what makes this footage truly strange is that this abandoned restaurant is basically in the middle of nowhere in the English countryside. It's not likely that there would either be a homeless person or a visitor skulking around the premises. And Alex says that he carefully searched the location before and after the investigation and found no one there. So just what is this shadow? You decide.
It could be CG.
Emax. Veteran Japanese ghost hunter Emax is exploring a supposedly haunted abandoned house in a remote location in Japan.
It is hard to create a CG human like that walking through and not being able to see the detail of it, so possibly paranormal.
The video is being live streamed, so some of the footage can get a bit choppy. Nevertheless, what Emax finds is downright chilling.
何手じゃない今ねえちょっと待って手打つなかった今ねえあ今手だよねここだよねここだよねちょっと待ってやばいかもしんない
What looks like a hand reaches out from around the corner of the building. But when Emax checks, nothing there. However, Emax is now terrified. He's simply too frightened to even enter the house. Eventually, he gathers his courage and ventures inside.
It's ちょっとやばい やばいこれはやばいぞうわちょっと待ってなんかいるなんか聞こえるうわちょっと待ってなんか聞こえるんだけど何嘘うわ聞こえたうわ聞こえちゃったどうしよううわ
Emax is overcome with fear and makes a hasty exit from the house. He turns back toward the cursed home for one final look, and he immediately regrets it.
ねえいやマジでやばいなんかいる絶対いる何
And with that, Emax has had enough. He decides to end his paranormal investigation and makes his exit. For more of Emax's paranormal explorations, check out his channel at Ghost Hunter Emax. Thanks for watching. If you see a great spooky video on YouTube that you think would be perfect for the top 5, please let me know at nukestop5@gmail.com.
Wow. Okay. One more. Top 15 videos that'll make you afraid to go outside. This is it, guys.
Number 15, unwanted guest. A doorbell security camera caught a man lurking outside his neighbor's home well armed in West Boca, Florida. Being that the family could see him via their doorbell cam, they knew not to go outside or even open the door. Instead, a teenager of the household who was inside at the time called the sheriff. The father and husband of the occupants inside was away on business, but he saw what was happening via the app. His wife was also initially watching the security feed on her phone, which ran out of battery. She and her children hid in the bathroom, afraid of what this stranger might do. When the deputies responded in full force, with a helicopter monitoring the neighborhood overhead, they took the man into custody. Tom said the scariest thing was that you don't know what this man is going to do. That's just it. You never know what someone like this will do, and these cases keep popping up, so why go outside? Number 14, Dragger. One exceptionally stressful reason not to leave the house is bumper-to-bumper traffic. It's enough to break even the Dalai Lama's calm, and for some, it's enough to rage over. In June of 2019, a dispute got the best of two drivers on Highway 316 in Gwinnett County, Georgia. The whole thing was captured on video. The incident, which occurred during rush hour on a busy highway, involved a baseball bat. The man even grabbed the truck driver's keys and retreated to his car. The truck owner then chased after the wielder to retrieve his keys, but the man simply drove off, dragging him along. At that point, the kid was holding on for dear life. According to the man who was dragged, this person said he was going to take his life. This wasn't the first incident on the key taker's record. In 2016, he was charged in another incident. The man who was dragged said that if he had known what was about to happen, he wouldn't have gotten out of the truck, but would have called the authorities immediately. The heat of the moment made him nearly lose his life. Something to learn from. Or better yet, just don't leave the house. Number 13, Scary Neighbor. We've all had neighbors who we aren't the biggest fans of. YouTuber SuperFelix99 is no exception. He posted this neighborly video in April of 2015 writing, "City says my neighbor is not unsafe or a nuisance. You be the judge." The footage shows his neighbor's driveway across the street. The door to a vehicle is left open, and it's unclear what exactly is going on. But then you hear repeated shouts, and finally a man who is bending into the driver's side door of the vehicle stands up, and you realize the sound is coming from him. He starts to growl menacingly, then he shouts while turning in a circle. He does this repeatedly, bending over to shout gruffly in front of the home. He stomps, pulls his shirt up, appears to be grabbing at his thighs. The sound goes on and on. At the end of the video, he is literally shouting to the heavens. Most in the comments section of the video think he's on something. Others suggest he needs help. What do you think is going on? It appears to me that these actions are out of his control. Number 12. Who's at the door? What happens when your doorbell captures an unseen possession? YouTuber Ring My Bell found out when she captured this horrifying sound on video via her Ring doorbell. Published in October of 2017, you can hear the Ring doorbell going off, alerting the homeowner to someone at the door. Only the video shows that no one is outside. After a moment, you can hear a horrifying demonic voice speaking incoherently. Whatever it's saying. Seems like an exorcism is necessary, because it sounds like a person possessed. Who could it possibly be at the door? Or just your average, everyday, scary, random noise? Whatever that is, I wouldn't take a step outside if I were the homeowner. Number 11. Evil Creature. This video will have you thankful there are locks on your doors. Captured from inside a screened-in sunroom, the footage shows a horrifying creature in the darkness on Rick's patio. The figure can be seen vaguely in the distance. and as it approaches, slinking closer and closer, the features become slightly more distinct. In the background, the recorder Rick has called his minister Mike to describe the creature, calling it a weird demonic thing like a human. He tells Mike that the creature can't see him, though he can see the monster well, and describes how he set his iPad up in the window to capture the figure, because weird things had been happening at this time at night. Later in the video, he explains that 3 days prior, he heard something open the door to the sunroom as he was laying on the couch, but when he came to,
In case you guys are wondering why I'm not really reacting much to this, it's because I've already seen this clip.
creature had
And when I saw it the first time, yeah, I reacted.
fled. Then he'd seen it with his very eyes 2 nights prior. When Mike asks if Rick is sure it's not a person, he says it's an evil entity in human form like a gargoyle. It slinks off again, only to return and hover there beyond the patio table. As Mike continues to speak, the creature slinks back into the darkness.
Oh my gosh. It knows something's going on, man. This thing is... Oh my gosh.
Did he retreat because of what he said? Your guess is as good as mine. Rick says that now he has it on video, people will no longer think he's crazy. All that remains a mystery now is what was that thing? Number 10, Dirt Road Drive. YouTuber Zepter00 had a dash cam placed in his vehicle when he began his drive down a dark, desolate forest road in presumably Poland. The drive is a full 47 minutes, and the entire time the scenery looks like something out of a horror movie. While the majority of the time, Zepter is just cautiously driving down this road. On multiple occasions, there's debris blocking his path. Each time Zepter is forced to come to a complete stop, exit his vehicle, and remove whatever is in his way. This is eerily reminiscent of other videos where strangers place objects to block the road and then ambush the driver. If someone had decided to do this, in this case the driver would have been helpless, considering the road is so desolate. Luckily, Zepter safely makes it home, but thinking how easily a situation like this could have gone south, I would never be going outside on a road like this again. Number 9, the scream. What if you heard this sound outside your house at night? That's what YouTuber Smet Logic caught on camera right outside his house. Whatever it is, it appears in the footage like a vague shape with glowing eyes. It's definitely an animal, and not a sound you'd want to come across in the darkness of night near a forest. A commenter says she hears similar noises in the wooded area outside her home, so it must be common. Further saying it sounds like someone having their life taken. The scary thing is...
Alright, now... I'm skeptical about this one. You know, do I believe something is there? Yeah. But consider this. Some cats, you know, whether they're domestic or wild, they have a very distinct sounding meow. And you know, the way this creature's head is moving around like that, and the way the head is shaped, it looks like a cat of some kind. I don't know if it's a domestic cat, a bobcat, an ocelot. I don't know, but it's a cat. It's some kind of feline.
That's what YouTuber Smet Logic caught on camera right outside his house. Whatever it is, it appears in the footage like a vague shape with glowing eyes. It's definitely an animal, and not a sound you'd want to come across in the darkness of night near a forest. A commenter says she hears similar noises in the wooded area outside her home, so it must be common. Further saying it sounds like someone having their life taken. The scary thing is, how would you ever know the difference? Number 8, fake salesman. Don't open your door to just anyone. If you do, it might just be this guy. The San Diego Sheriff's Department caught a strange man they believe entered and took from 19 homes in the area. One of the would-be homeowners had a Ring video doorbell. The man approached her door acting like a salesman looking for his client. When Amy turned him away, not an hour later, a neighbor across the street had their house entered by a man matching Ramos's description. Amy immediately shared her doorbell footage with the authorities. After the video was posted along with a neighborhood alert on social media channels, tips flooded in about the subject, and he was captured and taken into custody within weeks. Again, don't answer your door to a stranger. Whether it's a man like this or some other scary encounter on this list, you'll probably regret it. Number 7. The Watcher. What happens when you're unsafe both inside and outside? YouTubers Life of Luxury claim they found a watcher in the woods writing, Parker and Chester encounter a figure a girl Shelby has been seeing outside her house. Shelby states in the video that a strange figure was lurking outside her window at night, a figure that filled her with fear. At around 3:30 in the morning, they finally spot something in Shelby's backyard. The figure seems to have crawled out from under her back deck. It has dark hair and a pale figure. They go to confront him, but he's disappeared from behind the deck. They then spot him amongst the trees in the nearby woods, but he's disappeared again. At that moment, the figure appears at Shelby's window, and she lets out a horrifying scream. They race into her room, but the figure is gone again. As they race off into their car, they spot the figure one last time beneath an archway. According to the video, Shelby is no longer living in that house, and they haven't been able to identify the culprit. Number 6. Yeti. It's a common belief that Yetis like it up in the Pacific Northwest, so this video of a possible Bigfoot sighting in Central Oregon may just be the real deal. Published in July of 2018, YouTuber Colin Haggerty writes, "We've seen this thing, whatever it is, multiple times. Initially saw it come up from behind a deer and try to snatch it." Haggerty also says that there's 3 separate videos because his friend's cousin, who was filming, kept getting scared and shutting his phone off to race inside. The footage shows a large figure at a distance in a field. It's moving towards the group at the beginning of the video until someone tells everyone to go inside. In the next video, as darkness falls over the field, the figure is seen moving side to side before walking away and to the right. It disappears behind a bush for a moment before reappearing on the other side. When someone shouts "hey" at it, the figure turns towards the group and starts to approach. They all scream and race inside.
Hey! Hey!
Some in the group think it's a person messing around with them. Others insist it's not. Most in the comments section seem to think that this is for real. Who do you agree with? Number 5. Let there be light. Have you ever felt unnerved by a bright light? Probably not. That is, until you see this footage published by Martin Cook in June of 2019, entitled Masked Stranger. Not sure why this title was used, as we never see this stranger's face, so who knows if he's masked or not. His back is to the camera throughout the footage. Regardless, Martin writes that this was seen outside our house one Saturday night. A person wearing a backpack is pictured walking down a residential street in the darkness of night, with only streetlights to brighten the area. At one point he stops along the pavement, and it appears as though he takes a picture, at least with his back to the camera. He's holding something in his hands that lights up briefly and brightly. He just stands on the pavement for a while, until a car approaches on the road beside him. He then holds up whatever is in his hands, a blindingly bright light. The wattage appears too strong to be a phone. He holds it there as the car passes and for a while after. Then he screams to quickly walk away as if he is frightened. At one point he turns around to look over his shoulder, and a car can be seen backing up and parking at the lower right of the screen. The car then backs all the way down the street, perhaps to see what the man with the light was doing. What was he doing? Unfortunately, we are left in the dark. Number 4, snake on the doorknob.
weird.
Afraid of snakes? Then don't go outside this home in Spring, Texas. The homeowners were in for a terrifying surprise when their doorbell camera alerted them to an unwelcome visitor. When they looked at the footage, the Kellers saw a rat snake curling its way around the door handle and lock on their front door at around 2 a.m. We knew there were snakes, but this is the first time since we moved here 2 years ago that we've actually seen one. Allison Keller said, "We were both terrified of snakes, so it was pretty creepy." Keller went on to say that they suspect the snake was coiled around the front porch light and managed to slither down the door handle. Don't worry, the snake didn't stick around. After slithering around the door handle and door for 5 minutes, it made its exit into the nearby forest, probably out for its next meal. Hopefully it won't be haunting your front door anytime soon. Number 3, petrol monster. Ever glanced over when you're filling your car up with gas and seen something that frightened the life out of you?
I've seen this clip before.
Needless question. If you had, you'd probably not be alive to watch this video right now. But that's what these motorists saw at a petrol station. The scary footage of which was captured on video via CCTV in Peru. Dr. Anthony Choi made the statement, according to preliminary data and to the testimony of the witnesses, a strange creature or robot less than a meter high with several legs faced a group of 10 workers. The clip shows a bright figure appearing in the midst of a gas station, only to vanish in moments. Gas station staff outside the premises at the time looked taken aback by the mystical being, moving closer to it before it disappeared into thin air. The clip went viral on YouTube. In it, a security guard is watching the CCTV footage, while the gas station workers are captured outside the station working. These workers said the figure was smaller than a meter, had a number of legs, was floating around the building's exterior, and appeared illuminated. When the figure collided with a lorry near the street, it disappeared, according to the gas station attendants.
Oof. Guys, I'm glad that this video is almost over. I'm starting to fall asleep.
What do you think this is? Is it real or fake? And if it's real, what on earth could it possibly be? Number 2, people of Walmart. Walmart can be a scary place. Captured by YouTuber Jonathan Hoover at a Walmart. Jonathan writes that this older woman chased them down and wouldn't stop tapping on the windshield of his car as he tried to leave the parking lot. The woman can be seen through the windshield, just standing there looking inside while chewing on something or on nothing. Jonathan says in the video that he has no clue what she's doing. He beeps, but the woman just turns away for a moment, then returns to her staring and starts tapping repeatedly on the car's windshield. About 2.5 minutes into the video, the woman shakes the car lightly. This goes on for more than 5 minutes, until the boys have to ask a female passerby for help. In the comments, Caitlin G, who says she works as a CNA, wrote a concise explanation. She may have been leaning close and tapping on the glass because she did not understand how to get to you, but somewhere in her brain she did fundamentally understand that she needed to be around other people or needed help. While Caitlin writes that she understands how unnerving this behavior can seem. Calling the authorities for help would have been a good response. Still, this situation is certainly not something you'd want to encounter on your next grocery run. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? We upload every Tuesday. Number 1, escalator rail. A mall stunt turned horrible at Nucleus Mall in India. The whole thing was captured on closed-circuit television. In the footage, you can see the boy off to the left at the top of the escalator, grabbing hold of the moving handrail repeatedly as shoppers around him go about their business. According to reports, he was shopping with his aunt and uncle, who watched helplessly as he was pulled along by the handrail, chest first and flung over the side. According to authorities, within 5 minutes he was taken for medical attention a kilometer away from the mall, but passed away on arrival. The mall emphasized how important it is for guardians to be vigilant of their group when at the mall, but having watched this footage a few times, it seems like the escalator had a mind of its own. Just one more thing to be afraid of when you go outside. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because we upload new countdowns every Tuesday and Saturday. Or if you're still not convinced...
Oh, that's how we end this? That's really how we end this?